As you come on, we ask that you would put your first name, put your last name in the feed, and let us know where you're from and where you're at. So we welcome you, and we're looking forward to another episode of the Awakening Web Series. Thank you so much for joining us. And tonight is a special night. We have a very, 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 and very special guest with us, Kim Warren Martin, a leading lady, an awesome woman who has moved from the comfortable, from the familiar to her courageous zone. And she's going to talk to us about living a life of fulfillment and provide us with her 3-step formula to success and fulfillment. You don't want to miss it. So what I want you to do is I want you to invite somebody. Don't just hold all this good stuff to yourself, but invite somebody to come and to hear. We've got our theme song going on. I love myself. I hope you're loving yourself too. Shaka Khan, be slave. Welcome, welcome as you're joining us. We thank you. Welcome, welcome. I'm in love with myself. I love it. All right. I love this song.
I love this song.
Our theme song.
Yes.
All right, but we're going to get started. Oh, I just want to welcome each of you to another episode of the Awakening Web Series. For those of you that don't know us, my name is Sheila Reynolds, and I'm the founder of Wake Up, Rise Up, Live Up Movement, where we help progressive-minded women wake up to their power and possess the life they desire, they deserve, and that they're destined for. And I'm also the host of this awesome Awakening Web Series, along with my good girlfriend, my college roommate, my amazingly brilliant co-host,
Angel Townsend.
Yes.
All of that, the brilliance, all of that. But yes, we were college roommates just a few short years ago.
Yes, right. Oh my God.
I'm so excited to be here, Sheila. I'm excited about this series, this program that we're starting tonight. This is so important that people, because so many of us live in our comfort zones, and even though they may not be that comfortable, they're familiar. I think that's
yes.
Earlier. So we find ourselves just going day to day, not really living life, not really experiencing life, but just here, just clocking time. And yes. So for Kim to come on and share with us how she moved out of that into yes. a life of joy and excitement and getting up every day and being excited about being up.
Yes.
That's something I think we all can benefit from. I'm just excited to have this conversation tonight.
Yes, and so am I, because I think many of us may have already experienced going from comfortable, the familiar, to the courageous. But I think as you and I talked about this earlier, it's a continual process.
Yeah.
It's just like we want to continue to grow and to continue to go higher and up level in our lives. And that means then we're going to have to leave a place of familiarity to a place that may not be as comfortable in order to be able to live our best lives. Because that's what I believe. God has ordained us to live a life of abundance. There are great things that we are capable of, but we will not move in those things until we make up in our minds that we're going to take that step and do like Les Brown says, jump and grow our wings on the way down.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that's the key. What you said is you cannot hold on to the familiar and grasp the new life at the same time. You have to be willing to let go.
That's right. We have to be willing to let go. And one desire that I really have, and I'm like, Lord, I'm really stretching myself out to say this, is that I would begin to live a life where being uncomfortable becomes comfortable. You know, I want to be where being uncomfortable is just a norm for me. This is what I do. And I want that for those of you that are listening too, because when we do that, we will be living in our courageous zone. Okay. It'll be all about us living courageously and seizing the moment and really becoming all that we were designed to become, over and beyond all that we could ever imagine.
Think or imagine. That's right. And if you're going to have that, you really do have to be willing to walk in faith and kind of live life on the edge. And you know, the thought that comes to my mind as you're talking is the people who engage in extreme sports.
Yes.
The people who bungee jump, the people who skydive. And what I hear so many of them say is they never feel more alive than when they are doing those activities.
Yes.
I can imagine, I don't know, but I can imagine that when Kim comes on to speak with us, she's going to tell us that living life out loud and going and living life courageously, she probably feels really alive.
Amen. She's nodding her head.
Okay. And you know, go ahead, please.
Yes, I was just going to say this, Angel. I'm sure we've got some folks joining us, and I want to make sure that we acknowledge them. And as you're joining us, we want you to put your first name, put your last name. Let us know where you're watching us from, because we want to give you some shout outs and we want to give you some love, and we want you to really stay tuned, because you're about to hear some stuff that's going to change your life. So who do we have in the feed right now, Angel? Who's with us?
I can't tell you that right now.
Okay, we're not up and running just yet. Okay, all right, let's see. Let me see if I can find my phone around here. Pardon me?
I said, please, if you see it. Oh, there we go. I've got Tion saying, hello, ladies. Hi, Tion.
Hey, Tion.
Looking forward to another great webcast.
Awesome.
Marsha White Biz is saying, hey, Sheila, Angel, and Kim.
Hi, Marsha.
And she says that she has shared this so that other people can join us and be blessed by what Kim has to share with us. Really excited about that.
Awesome.
Tom Brace, no one learns from comfort. You don't move when you're comfortable.
That's right.
Is the catalyst for movement. All right, Tom. Thank you. Good information.
Who said that?
Tom Brace.
Oh, thank you, Tom. My high school friend. He knows how old I am. But go ahead. Thank you, Tom.
Yes. So that's what we have going so far.
All right. Well, welcome. Well, as you guys continue to come on, I know there are many that are listening, because I know many have indicated they're interested, and you may just be sitting there just listening, and that's okay, but we would love to shout you out. So just engage, participate, and share this video out. So now it is time to introduce our featured guest speaker, Mrs. Kim Warren Martin. I just love me some Kim. Kim, I think I described Kim as femininity wrapped in strength. And we spent some time together in South Africa. We were there with our Black CEO conference, and we went to South Africa and Dubai. We had an awesome time. If Ehrlich is listening, we love South Africa. We love Black CEO South Africa. And she and Ehrlich coordinated that trip and did a phenomenal job. So she's a great, great leader. And I just have tons of respect for her. But Kim Warren Martin is known by many as the belief catalyst, helping women change the internally held beliefs that govern their success is a life mission for her. After achieving success as an engineer, she embarked on a journey to engineer her own personal definition of success, which led to the founding of Undeniably You. Every woman has the right to redefine her success, to challenge any belief that limits her possibility, and to be fulfilled in all that she does. Kim's unique message has carried her to Dubai, to China, to South Africa, to London, to Paris, while sharing the stages and the pages of best-selling books with Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, and Michelle Prince of Zig Ziglar Foundation. Kim is best described as inspirationally disruptive, the velvet hammer, and undeniably audacious. We are so, so pleased to welcome Mrs. Kim Warren Martin to the Awakening Web Series. Welcome, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheila and Angel. I'm excited to be here. I love the theme song too.
Yeah, exactly. We are so excited to hear you speak about your courageousness and how you went from the familiar and the comfortableness and being an engineer. No doubt, you were doing an awesome job in your industry and blazing some trails as a Black woman in that industry. No doubt about it. So I'm very, very interested, as I'm sure those that are listening are interested to hear some of the profound insights and some of the profound wisdom that you have moving from comfortable to courageous. But before we get started, I want to introduce a little something new to the audience. I have this beautiful little angel bell. Okay, this is a bell. Isn't she pretty? We'll have to give her a name. Okay.
She is pretty.
Yes, because she is on assignment. She is on assignment to, whenever there is something that is just profound, that we just have to stop the speaker and say, hey, hold up, because oftentimes they don't even realize that they have deposited something that we want to just stop and unpack. So when I do this, that's gonna let us all know that she will finish what she has to say, graciously. And we just want to unpack something profound that you have shared, Kim.
Got it.
So this is our little angel bell.
Angel bell. Got it.
Okay. So Kim, we just want to start and we just want to hear a little bit about your backstory. Give us an idea of where you were and take us there to where you journeyed and what you journeyed through.
Sure. I'm always, it's interesting when I share this story because my story started in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm number one of 4 girls, and I was always really creative and I loved the arts. And so as I was growing up, I loved to dance. I loved to put on little plays in the house and, hang up the sheet as my curtain, my stage curtain, and that's
yes, fun.
Making things and doing things. And so in my heart of hearts, I just knew I was going to be able to go off and sing and dance on Broadway and do some acting and whatnot. But my father and my mother decided that that having a career in engineering or something with computers, computer science, would allow for a better life, a more stable career, that sort of thing. And so when I was a senior, I think I was a senior, and they announced, well, we've invited some folks over from the school, and we're going to, you're going to be studying computers because the Wall Street Journal says they're the wave of the future. Yeah. And, we have 3 more behind you. And so you're going to be able to have a good life. And somewhere under there was probably like, you won't be, writing home every month for money for the, keep the lights on and for food, whatever. And so that was really shocking to me because it is not where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. But I went off anyway. And what is so great about it, pardon me, I've been speaking a lot over the weekend, so my voice is a little,
no worries.
A little scratchy. But the great thing about it is even in college, my roommate, I was able to talk her into doing like plays and things like for talent shows and all that. And even when I got into corporate America, I had an opportunity to do things like make training videos and all sorts of things, just something to sort of feed that part of me.
Yes.
But the longer I was in it, it seems like the less and less I was able to do those things. And I got myself into a career where the money was good, the perks were good, traveling all over the world, doing some amazing things, working with brilliant people, creating technology that has changed the entire world, like from my desk or from our building. So those were some amazing things, but all along, I just was not fulfilled. I mean, I was able to find the creativity in things. Even when I was in college, I programmed graphics before it really got to the scientific part of what was supposed to happen. It would sometimes, be a little bit of an issue with my professors, but I'd be like, just wait, I got some star shooting and one more thing coming. Right. So, but and what I realized in retrospect is as I look back, I tended to move around a lot, sometimes in the same company, sometimes, between companies, because I was still trying to fit this round peg into a square hole, as Steve Jobs says.
Yes.
And so ultimately, I don't know how far you want me to go right now, but I could sort of start.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I just realized I don't know how long this is going to work for me. Again, the money was good, but after a while, I couldn't take enough vacations. I couldn't buy enough shoes or purses or those sort of things to fill that hole that I had. I'll pause there.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, Kim, because Angel, it reminds me a bit of last week, in terms of, our parents really wanting what was best for us.
Absolutely.
And that was very, very obvious with Jennifer last week as well, Kim, who went into the engineering field as well.
Yes.
And, being the dutiful and obedient daughter that you both were. I mean, really and truly, you didn't rebel against that. You accepted your position as, firstborn, and the leader of those that would come behind you, and went into something that wasn't quite your fit, but you still excelled at it. So what that says to me is we can excel at a lot of things and still not be fulfilled.
Yes.
Not that we can't do it. So how many out there that are listening have you or are you doing something that you're really, really, really good at, but that's not something that's fulfilling you? And if you are in that situation, you understand what that feels like, the emptiness that's there. So Angel, what are your thoughts around what Kim has said so far?
I could not. I think that's it's honorable that you did what your parents suggested that you do, that you were able to excel in your work. I think that's phenomenal, but I think it's also really exciting and really important that you were able to recognize that you weren't fulfilled, that you weren't getting everything out of it, and that you knew innately that there's more to life. And I can't, I have a closet full of shoes, but this isn't enough. There's got to be more. There's got to be more to life than this. So sometimes we just kind of keep stuffing. And then we talk, I know we're not really necessarily going down this road, but we think about addictions, people who are very successful by the world standards. And we just had 2 extremely successful people take their own lives in the last month.
Absolutely.
So obviously something was missing that they were not getting. So it's really important for us to tap into that space that tells us what we should be doing, and then find and do that. So I just, again, I'm for recognizing that and moving into it and saying, you know what, parents, I did what you asked me to do. Now and I know I can do that, but there's more.
Yeah.
Those sound like my words exactly, to my dad, at least, when I was telling him that, we made the decision, my husband and I, that I was going to leave, because I was in that career for 27 years. Wow. And the interesting thing is, last week I was looking up something. I've been taking this like brain power, like expand your comprehension and your accelerate your learning kind of challenge, and one of the things I was working on was a memory jogger for the number 27. And so I was Googling, and the thing I found was Club 27 or 27 Club, and it was a list of famous people who had committed suicide at age 27. Yeah, it just, and I parallel that while I wasn't age 27, my career was 27 years old.
Yes.
And, thank God that wasn't my out, my career.
Yeah.
It wasn't an option for me, but just thinking about it at the time, once I saw that, just like, man, they were, I don't know if they were suffering with depression. There were a lot of different stories, but the reality of it is they were successful, but they were unfulfilled. Yeah. And it just didn't matter how many concerts you did or how many fans you had and that sort of thing. It doesn't feel that whole. And there's nothing like being attuned to your purpose and your destiny and getting on the path to fulfillment. And so I just wanted to say that, because that was like a major coincidence as I was looking at that. And it was probably 2 days after, the Kate Spade incident. So just phenomenal.
That's pretty powerful, because at your 27, you made a different type of decision.
I made a different type of decision
than those that were at 27. So as we move into that, Kim, I'm interested to hear how it was that you got to the place where you made the decision and you turned the corner to do something different after 27 years. I mean, 27 years. Think about, I want that to sink in to people. That is a long time. To have done something, to have been successful at it. By then, I'm sure you're making buku money, it
was good. It was good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah. So you're taking all of that into consideration, no doubt, as you are turning the corner. So let's hear some more about it and talk about your path to fulfillment. Because I know you've got some really interesting things to share about your 3-step formula. So take it into your path of fulfillment.
So, in thinking about it and talking about it, I knew for a really long time, because I know growing up, all I ever wanted to do was dance and sing and fly through the air and, act and play all these characters and roles and sort of
Right.
things like that. And so it's interesting throughout my career, people would be like, you're an engineer? Like you have a different type of personality for an engineer. But I am an interesting mix. I used to say weird, but now I realize it's interesting because I think it's by divine design.
Yes.
That my mix is very creative, but I'm also very analytical. And so I can move, between the two and sometimes work with the two together.
Yes.
And so during my career, like my last probably 6-8 years, I decided to take a chance on my more creative side. Mm-hmm. So I moved to an organization that had nothing to do with engineering and, communications or silicon development or any of those sorts of things. It really had to do with marketing our company as a great place to work, which meant it was more of showing people how amazing this company, this culture, and all of that was. And in the process of doing that, I was invited after about a year or two, because I think my direct manager realized, okay, she's not going to do this much longer. I think she's mastered this. I'll figure out something else for her to do. Yeah. And we were going down a path, but then I was invited to, manage the women's initiative, which turned out to be interesting. But my first response was, well, that's not where I was trying to go. I mean, I don't know anything about nursing babies because I hadn't had children at that point. Right. I haven't birthed any children.
Yes.
So I felt like they deserved someone who had been, through some of those same experiences. But the reality of it is I didn't have to, and I didn't need to understand, what it takes to be able to help. My responsibility was to help women get to the top. Yes. On the engineering side, on the business side, some more VPs, fellows, all those sorts of things. And, we did it in the US. We worked on it ultimately around the world because the challenges were similar. There were some different nuances for people like in Israel or China or South America, different places. But having that opportunity to do that and help people get to where they wanted to be probably edged me toward my shower moment, which is what I call it with God, where I'm in the shower one morning after working all night, because I did work a lot of hours, just all the different time zones around the world. And there's hot water running on my face. And I'm like, God, you've been so amazing, so good. I never run out of money before I run out of month. I don't even remember the last time I bounced my checkbook, which could be considered irresponsible, but you've blessed me so much that I don't have to worry about it. Right. So my experiences have been so amazing. And I almost don't feel like I have the right to ask this, but something inside of me tells me there's more.
Yes.
And the question I kept asking myself is this all there is? And the more and more I worked with all those women to get them to where they wanted to be, there's a little voice inside saying, well, what about me? Like, what about you? And what about where you want to be and what you want to do? And there used to be this line about bringing your whole self to work. The culture we worked in and that sort of thing. We wanted people to feel included and all of those sorts of things. But I never took my whole self to